UFC 319 is a sneaky good fight card that not only has a spectacular main event, but a top to bottom lineup of really fun, really exciting, and very impactful fights. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my bets for UFC 319. But before I jump into the bets, what would this be if I wasn't bragging about how well we have been doing recently? Here's a look at UFC Vegas 109. 2.37 units of net profit, a 39% ROI. And you may say, Ange, that was a one-off. No, it wasn't. Here's a look at the last 6 fight cards. I have been doing quite well. I'm on a nice little streak here. And while UFC Vegas 109 and UFC Vegas 108 were more straightforward than some other cards, I assure you, UFC Abu Dhabi 318, Nashville, and 317 were pure chaos. But here we are, working our way through the absolute insanity that have been fights in 2025 and putting up some real numbers. 6.64 units of net profit over the last 6 events, a 23% ROI across those 6 events. If you want to check out every single bet that not only I have on the board, but Jacob, Bet Sam, and the rest of the We Want Picks crew, just go to WeWantPicks.com. We have a whole suite of bets and picks and artificial intelligence, all sorts of tools to help you make some money while watching your favorite sport. It's only $10 for an entire month worth of access. And like I said, it's not just copy-paste bets. If you go to WeWantPicks.com, you'll have full access to a whole bunch of tools. Things like a fight simulator, things like the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card. So you can go ahead and track that movement, hop on a bet, or wait until that line gets where you want it to be. We also have a curated set of data called the Prop Hunter. This is specifically designed to help you find those prop bets. And as I mentioned, we have a fight simulator, we have a data analyzer, we have all sorts of copy-paste bets, as well as tools that will enable you, empower you, teach a man to fish your way to some profit on Saturday night. But it's not just Saturday night. If you go to WeWantPicks.com and click Become a Member, you will unlock an entire month's worth of events. And if you sign up right now, you'll have full access to every pick, bet, and tool for UFC 319, UFC Shanghai, UFC Paris, and Noche UFC. Jacob and I will be at Noche live. Check it all out. It's $10 for an entire month. Literally the most robust, most value add, best service you could possibly get in this space. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Before I deep dive my actual bets, let's talk in some generalities. Let's talk about some favorites and some dogs that we like on this card. This card is very different than every other card so far in 2025. 2025 has been the year of massive upsets. Every single fight card, the odds get wider and wider and wider. We have minus 600, minus 700, minus 800 favorites on every single fight card. This week, the biggest favorite on the entire card is a minus 330 Chase Hooper. These fight cards are what we got last year. Close competitive matchups where gamblers and parlay makers haven't absolutely destroyed the lines, which makes it a little trickier to navigate, because while I have my confident favorites, the lines don't always indicate this person should win. So if I'm talking about confident favorites, I like Lupita Godinez, and I get it. Liking Lupi in a fight and calling it a confident favorite is an insane thing to do. She's wildly inconsistent. Talent-wise, it's there. She's got unbelievable wrestling, very good striking. She can be a bully. She's tough. But in execution, sometimes she pulls guard and does dumb shit, doesn't wrestle when she should. I understand the risk that is a Lupi fight, but the reality is she's the better fighter, and I'm pretty confident in her to get this win. Michael Venom Page. MVP is an unbelievable striker. Honestly, there's an argument to be made that he is one of the best strikers we've ever seen. Not the best, but very close to it. And I know inside the UFC, he was destroying, and I'm going to say destroying Ian Gary on the feet, and then Ian had to wrestle. We watched him beat the absolute piss out of Kevin Holland on the feet. He touched up Shara Bullet on the feet. MVP has had some solid performances. There is obviously a gap. He's not a wrestler. There's a gap in the grappling, so a lot of people are convinced Jared Cannonier will just move forward, hold him against the cage, keep him in place. The reality is Jared Cannonier is 40-something years old, and it's not that easy to do. He's also been getting rocked dropped, and he's very, very chinny at his advanced age. Michael Venom Page is insanely fast. He has built his entire career around staying mobile, avoiding being held against the cage, and I think he dots up Jared Cannonier. It's one of my more confident picks on this card. Then we have Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is another guy where there is a pretty one-dimensional game plan coming from him, and that's striking. Laser pinpoint accuracy, incredible power, takes his time, hits a flow state. He's not going to shoot any takedowns. But we also just saw in his loss to Ian Gary that even if he starts to fall behind, he does not quit on himself, and that power remains. He almost finished Ian very, very late into that fight. He's fighting Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal is tough. Jeff Neal's pretty well-rounded. Jeff Neal's pretty good. But I think Carlos Prates is just going to be too good of a striker and too dynamic for Jeff Neal. I think Jeff Neal kind of moves forward blindly, and that's just not going to work for him. And then Aaron Pico. I fully understand the criticism. Here's the talking points of everybody that says Aaron's going to lose. Bellator fighters suck. Look what Patchy Mix did. His record sucks. He hasn't fought anybody good. He's lost 4 times. I get it. First of all, Patchy Mix is an absolute embarrassment to his entire bloodline for generations to come. That UFC debut was dog shit. Second of all, Aaron Pico has real-life credentials, not just good at MMA. His wrestling credentials are phenomenal. He went from high school to the finals of the Olympic trials, and then from there to let me be a professional fighter. He's also competed in boxing as well. He's been training everything for a very long time. Those 4 losses people like to cite, one of them was a straight-up injury. Doesn't count. The other 3 were very early in his career, 9 years ago. And he was rushed. He was a giant prospect because of the wrestling credentials, a giant prospect because of the marketability, and he was just rushed. Yes, I will agree that he doesn't have the highest level of competition, and without question, Lerone Murphy has fought the better fighters. It's not even up for debate. But I think Aaron Pico's wrestling is just too damn good. His hands are also very good. I think he's just too well-rounded. He has too much pressure and the ability to control where the fight goes. I think he gets it done. I'm very, very confident in him to win. If you look at some underdogs, I could make the argument against every single favorite. Name a favorite. The biggest favorite on the card is Chase Hooper. I actually think Alexander Hernandez can sneak one out. Great matchup for him. If we're talking about massive favorites, Khamzat Chimaev, minus 250 at this point. If he gasses, he's screwed. So when we're talking about solid underdogs, this is not a normal week. I can make the case for literally anybody on this card, but here's 4 that I like. Nursulton Ruziboev, I straight up picked him to win. I bet him at plus 150. I'll show you that in a second. Nursulton is 6'5". Nursulton is a real middleweight. Nursulton has a laser pinpoint accurate, lightning fast, powerful right hand. He also has incredible wrestling and grappling. We haven't seen it in the UFC because he hasn't needed it. But if you go to the regional tape and you watch his regional fights, he's out grappling, he's out wrestling, he's just beating the absolute piss out of people. Inside the UFC, his only loss was a somewhat short notice, not incredibly short notice, but he went from 185 to what? A 4-week turnaround, 3-week turnaround to 170 to fight Joaquin Buckley. This dude is 6'5". Bryan Battle is very tough. He's a fighter I've made a lot of money on in the past, but the fact that he's at 185 and not at 170 where he has been is a bit concerning, and he's not just going to cage hug giant ass Nursulton Ruziboev. Dione Barbosa. Dione Barbosa is stepping in on short notice. That's a bit concerning. I have a bet on her as well. I'll show you that in a second. But I think she can get this done. She is a judo practitioner, a judoka. So I don't see the Karine Silva takedowns being as clean as she's hoping they'll be. I think Dione Barbosa has good hands. I think she's got great judo. And I think she could absolutely pull off a win here. Gerald Meerschaert. Does Gerald suck? Yeah, kinda. Is he chinny? Yeah, no shit. Is he fighting a striker? Yes. All of those things would indicate this dude gets smoked, and maybe he does. But I think this is a 50-50 fight. I think you have the exact same chance that Gerald Meerschaert gets knocked out as you do Gerald Meerschaert wins by submission. His opponent, Michal Oleksiejczuk, sucks on the ground. Gerald has no chin on the feet. Michal sucks on the ground. This is a 50-50 fight. Obviously, the fight starts on its feet, so right off the rip, Michal's got an advantage. But if Gerald Meerschaert can absorb some of those shots, drag Michal to the ground, he could get submitted just as quickly as he did when he fought Kevin Holland. So I didn't pick Gerald Meerschaert to win, but the fact that there's a 2-1 underdog in that fight makes no sense. And then we have the main event. The main event of the evening, one of the most controversial fights on the card, but what is surprising is it feels like the vast majority. When I opened this up for my Sunday quick video, I said I haven't seen a single person outside of Jernani say that Khamzat was going to win. And now here we are. I have seen some more, right? 20, 30, 40,000 views later, I've seen some more. But it is still an 80-20 split with people picking Dricus. And that's not what the line is doing. The line is widening. Dricus is becoming a larger and larger underdog, but somehow there are more and more people saying he's going to win. So obviously, the money that the people in the comment sections are spending is not the same as real life money, because the real life money is moving that line and it's going in on Khamzat. The reality is this is a very tough fight, and I am surprised the line is where it is. I fully understand the normal narrative. The normal narrative makes sense. Khamzat is going to be dangerous as hell in that first round, and if he doesn't get it done, DDP is screwed. But if DDP is able to survive that first round, he will take over. He's just a physical brute. He does have cardio. He pressures. He's got a pace. He hits hard. He's got his own grappling. It's a spectacular fight. I am looking forward to it, and DDP is absolutely a good underdog. He's the current world champion. And even though he's almost never the more raw, skilled fighter, he's pulling out these wins. Won the belt, defended the belt. He's beaten everybody they give him, so he's a great underdog in this spot. Let's look at my actual bets. I've got 5.5 units out the door, and I got to tell you, it was not easy putting these together. It was not easy putting these together. I opened up this whole video showing you how successful I have been the last 6 events. And those 6 events included some wild cards like UFC Abu Dhabi that had 8 underdogs win in 12 fights. This card feels like, holy crap. I could convince myself that every one of these bets is dog shit. I can convince myself that every one of these bets is spectacular. I also did a couple out of character things for me. The reason I'm steady Ange, the reason that I'm constantly grinding and getting wins is because I don't overly expose to any particular fight or fighter. It's easy to chase dogs. It's easy to throw up 19 parlays with 25 legs. You're going to miss them all, but it's easy to do that. What's not easy to do is consistent, slow and steady. Over 6 units in 6 weeks. If you're doing this week in and week out, that grind is very real and very worth it. And I'm able to do that because, as I mentioned, I don't overly expose to any one fight. If I typically miss a bet, that's one bet, okay? This person lost, I lose that one bet. We have other bets to work with. What I don't want is one person loses and it kills 3 bets. I have a little bit of that going on here. I have gone against my own conservative Ange. For example, I have Dione Barbosa plus 3.5. All that means is we need Dione Barbosa to win a single round. If we go back to last week, we just watched Miles Johns do that. I had the exact same bet on him, and it cashed. He lost the fight overall, but he won 1 round. The fight was close enough. We go ahead and cash that bet. Dione Barbosa, same thing. Maybe she doesn't win this fight because maybe she wins the first round and then she slows down because it's short notice and she loses a 29-28 decision. If that's the case, we get paid. So I have that plus 3.5. Now, if we take a look and let's say we have the over on that fight, if Dione Barbosa gets finished, I have lost 2 bets. Because I do have the over on that fight in a parlay with the over on the Diego Ferreira King Green fight. I think those overs are good. I think the Dione Barbosa fight goes to a decision. I think Bobby Green or King Green and Diego Ferreira, I think that goes well into the second round, potentially to a decision. I love that that's a 1.5 round line. So I've parlayed that. Only a half a unit. It's plus money. I took the Dione Barbosa plus 3.5. Also only a half a unit because I don't want to be wildly overexposed. Exact same logic with Chase Hooper and Diego Ferreira. I parlayed the 2 of them. I think they both win. Now, if Bobby Green finishes Diego Ferreira, I got 2 bets screwed. Both are plus money, so a half a unit on each one. So while I am little double exposed in a couple of spots, I have hedged with the unit management. So again, we got the Barboza, Silva, and Diego Ferreira, Bobby Green overs parlayed together, plus 108, half a unit. Then I have Carlos Prates, money line, parlayed with the Andrade Godinez, over 2.5. I think the Godinez fight goes the distance. Andrade is tough. Godinez is tough. Andrade is the dangerous one, but I think she loses. So I think we're good with the over there. That's minus 113. Then I have Chase Hooper, Diego Ferreira, as I mentioned. I think they both win this fight. So we slapped them together. We got some decent odds there. Aaron Pico. Well, I just told you he's one of my most confident picks. I fully respect Lerone Murphy's ability to win fights. He has proven he can just win fights. The kid just keeps winning. So I don't want to come in here and throw a ton of money on a 2-1 favorite straight up money line because maybe the takedowns aren't quite there. Maybe he has early success, but he fades. So what I did was Aaron Pico inside the distance, decision, no action. Because of the two of them, Aaron's the dangerous one. And all this is saying is if Aaron Pico finishes Lerone Murphy, we get paid. If he loses the decision, we get a full refund on that fight. Lerone Murphy is not the finisher. So if Aaron loses, I likely get a full refund on my bet. Full refund. Now, if Aaron wins, I might also get a refund because maybe it's a decision. Or if he finishes Lerone Murphy, which is possible, go watch any Aaron Pico highlight tape. You will see the power he has in his hands. Then go watch Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige. Watch Lerone Murphy versus Edson Barboza. The dude can be hit and he does collapse. So we have that bet. The odds are not spectacular, but the reason the odds are not spectacular is because there's a safety net built in. You get a full refund. The only way you lose that bet is if Aaron Pico gets finished, and even if you don't think Aaron wins, I don't think he's going to get finished, and neither do you. Then we have Nursulton, Ruziboev, straight money line, half a unit plus 150. All the reasons I mentioned before. The reason my dog bets are half a unit is because I'm conservative, Ange. I'm not throwing giant money in those spots. I understand the risk, so that's what unit management is. Dione Barboza, as I mentioned, plus 3.5. We need her to win a single round. Then we have a unnamed parlay that hit last week. This week, notably, it's plus 158. The unnamed parlay, what that is basically the safety parlay. I had the safety parlay, and it missed a few weeks. There were a few events where I was up money. I had a spectacular night, and that was the only bet that missed. And people lost their minds. I was like, guys, what are we crying about? The bets are hitting. We're up money. What are we crying about? They said, Ange, you put the word safe in the name. It says safe and it missed. So I said, tell you what, we're just not going to name the bitch. It's not named. Cheese all through the bitch. It's not named. The unnamed parlay, plus 158. Wildly out of character for Big Papa Bozinski. And then premium prop bet. We have another prop bet, half a unit, plus money prop bet that I do think hits. And that is on a dog. You can check out all of those bets. There's more coming. Filming this Wednesday. There are more bets coming. Check them all out now. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Here's a teaser from the rest of the crew. It's not just me. We have 23 total units of bets right now on the board. 23. 6 of those units are for future events. Not every bet is for this week. We have other bets for future events. There was a Nursulton Ruziboev bet on the board last week for this week. So, here's a couple teasers. Edson Barboza by knockout or TKO, plus 275.4 units. I believe that's Jacob's prop bet. We got a couple more premium KO prop bets. Plus 110 for this fighter to win by knockout, plus 400 for another fighter to win by knockout. A 3-leg money line parlay at plus 265 with a full 1.25 units on it. And then Bet Sam's Slam of the Week. I'm not going to give away what that is. I do like it. And I was like, shit, could that be my safety parlay or the unnamed parlay? I'm not going to double down because that's just the jinx when you do that. But I was like, that is good. I do like it quite a bit. He's got 2 full units on that. It's almost even money at minus 105. Here's the 4 events, as I mentioned, that you would unlock. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Instantly unlock everything. As I mentioned, it's not just copy-paste. We have a full suite of tools. The Data Analyzer is a tool where you pull up the fight card you want, then the fighter you want. Their full statistical breakdown is right there, as is their opponents. And then you work your way down and you can narrow that data to tell whatever story you want it to. You can say, I want to see how many takedowns does Khamzat Chimaev get in fights that are longer than 1 round. And you can see what that says. You can say, how many significant strikes does Dricus du Plessis land? in a fight, and you can see that. We have the fight simulator. What the simulator does, it takes every fighter on the card and it runs it through simulation. It's a fancy calculator, basically. It takes in all sorts of information, like betting odds are one of them. It takes in historical grappling stats and striking stats, your offense, your defense. It brings all that information in. It simulates the fights 100,000 times, and it gives you the individual outputs. And then you can use that data to find your spots. For example, Karol Hossa, a few weeks ago, her significant strike line on Prize Picks was 69.5. We went to the simulator. The simulator said, yo, she's going to land 30. So then we went back. I might be misremembering the exact numbers, but we went back. We went to Prize Picks. And we went ahead and we attacked that line, and it absolutely crushed. The tools are there for you to find your own spots. The bets are there for you to look at, to copy paste. The resources are there for you. Check them all out. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's $10 for an entire month. This isn't just a list. My stupid camera follows me around. Look at this shit. It's because I'm too Italian and I'm too animated, so I'm moving my hands. It saw my hand. It's like, oh, what's he got going on? So we're going to try to stop moving. Bang. Stay right there. Quite literally the best service in the space. You can hate my guts. Angelo speaks too confidently. That seems to be the number one. Great looking, tall, handsome, funny, hilarious. He's just too confident. I hate a confident man. That's you. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's not just some dumbass list of bets where we cross our fingers and hope for the best. Full suite of services. Anything you could ever want or need for $10. 10. You know how little that is? $10. Hey, good luck this weekend. This is a spectacular fight card, and I'm looking forward to it.